Hello everyone, this is Schultzy, and I'm going to do some DLC news, tips and tricks, and whatnot. Now, the first thing is there is DLC coming out for XCOM, and I'm very excited about this because this game, honestly, I couldn't figure out how they would add DLC. Now, the first DLC is out, which is pretty much the pre-order stuff for about $5. And truth be told, is it necessary? No, not whatsoever. It is not necessary whatsoever. Also, I do feel it should have been with the game anytime someone bought it. But after that little BS little thing that they're doing, honestly, is it worth buying? I say yes, because it also helps out diversify your troops so you actually have a nice looking units and you can easily tell them apart. Now, is it necessary? No. Should you buy it? If you're not loving XCOM, no. Don't buy it if you're not loving XCOM whatsoever. And you know what? If you're really loving it, it's not a bad buy. It's just cosmetic, but it's not bad. Now, the other thing is there's going to be DLC packs with missions. Now, the first one that they have officially said is called the Slingshot Content Pack. Problem is, they're not announcing that much information about it, other than that there's 3 new council missions that are focused mainly in China. They're kind of like a mini story, not part of the larger game, but not a major focus. But it's just focused in China. You'll be able to get some new soldiers. It'll be granted. They say granted access to new Chinese Triad operative soldier. And honestly, all they said that the soldier in and of itself will be a heavy with a unique look to himself. And you know what? They also said that the new council missions will have unique maps, but they won't be added into random rotation. So they'll pop up and you'll have a choice to say yay or nay to them. And you know what? Truth be told, it looks good. Now, here's the thing. If they sell it for more than $5, not worth it. I'm going to say that straight up. If they sell it for more than $5, not worth it. Why? Because for 3 maps, even though they may be special, unique, and different from anything else you're playing, if they're not added into the gameplay and they're just specially once in a while, unless I'll be picking it up. But when I play it, unless I see something magically special about it, I'm gonna say hold out on it. Hold out on it if it's more than $5. Now, here's the thing: if it is $5, there's definitely no problem to buy sight unseen, because a couple new maps. It's no different than buying Call of Duty, and this time, actually, there's story plots to it and stuff like that. You know what? And if that adds some new character customization, which it seems like it might, this says that there's going to be a new character with story with looks and feels to it. And you know what? If that is there, that might not be a bad thing to do. But that's just me personally speaking on that. It's not a necessity. You don't have to buy it. I would say that wait until it comes out. Wait until someone says something about it. And if it's $5, if it's super cheap, then I'd say, you know what, there's probably there'd be no harm in picking it up. But otherwise, wait on it. Now, and it's the fact that with all that DLC stuff, it looks very good. It looks very cool. The other DLC, the pre-order bonus, honestly, I got it when I pre-ordered it. Pretty much, is it worth $5? As I said, it's not exactly worth $5. You don't really have to worry about it. Now, after this blah 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 about the DLC, they didn't give a date. The first batch of DLCs, that armor pack, which is out, or for the pre-order pack, is already out. Now, honestly, as I'll say again, is it really worth it? No. But here's the thing. As I said before, it will help you make your units stand out, not just in colors. You'll see they'll be more unique and more different, so you'll be very easily able to pick them out. Now, also, it seems like there might be more DLC. And honestly, there are certain missions that were not in the game from the previous ones that I found out which were missions where the aliens actually attacked your base and stuff like that. Now, if they added one of those missions in there every so often, definitely I would say that's a definite buy, because that is some challenging shit that I heard from other buddies that played this like hell. If they did add that, yes, that's worth a buy. If they add those missions in the future, I would say yes. But going on from that, you can see that elite brood over there, that thing in red. These characters are just super-sized, super strong mutons. And honestly, you really want to be careful when you tackle these mutons. Now, honestly, this was the very end of the mission. I was just trying to get... I wanted to bring you the information on these characters and creatures as soon as possible. But you know what? The elite mutons, they're pretty dangerous. They have heavy weapons. I believe they do 9 to 10, around 10 damage per shot. And that's something you really have to be careful on, because they can really do some serious damage. And honestly, you can, if you want to, take them hostage for their weapons if you have heavy weapons teams. And that's all I would suggest, is if you really need some things. Now the other, and it's little things like that. And also, with not just the mutons, you can see that I'm upgrading your anti UFO craft, I'll call them, is a necessity. And the fact that you're going to see that, honestly, you can just see very simple gameplay mechanic. But those heavy elite mutons, treat them just like berserkers. And they're a hybrid mix of berserkers and mutants. They act like mutants, but they have the hit points and durability of a berserker. And what you're going to need to focus on with those guys is more or less focusing as much firepower on them. And honestly, if you really want to, you mainly have a heavy weapons team, pin those guys down. Those guys, you need to be really pinned down. You do not want them to start moving and suppressing you and moving into other positions. If you can suppress those little elite mutons, you can move your men in close and doing serious damage. And you can see, honestly, just double checking, plasma rifles, the biggest, and you can see that plasma weapons, once you get plasma weapons, don't look back. There's no advantage for having lesser powerful weapons. Now, the only time that you might be flip-flopping is the carbine, the light plasma weapon, because it does 3 less damage, a little less likelihood to critical, but adds 10 points extra to hit. So honestly, though, if you're actually thinking about it, that might be a better weapon to give to your men if you're concerned about them not hitting. Like this guy, pretty much like this guy, my SAS operative that I'm trying to raise him up. And the other thing is the fact that when you start having a fully flushed out team, always bring one rookie and try to beef him up with his stats. Have him protect him a lot and use him just to kind of balance out that if you ever have one of your main team members go down, pull that in. But honestly, going back to those elite guys, they're heavily armored, they take less damage. And as you can just see, that honestly, most of my men are decked out to the teeth that can rip in through them. And the fact that when you see these heavy mutons, your major focus is to take them out with extreme prejudice. Use heavy firepower, suppress them into place. Many of these tactics overlap, and the main reason why they overlap is because all these creatures, when you're not powerful, the same tactics usually apply. Not always, but usually apply. And you use basic military tactics. In small groups combat. You overlapping lanes of fire. Right then there, I triggered the guys off. I had a feeling that I need to get them going. So they're going to be coming towards me. Now, what do I have to do? I have to engage them. Now, honestly, I have enough guys that can really do some serious damage. My sniper pretty much is she's in position and she's going to just start ripping them to pieces, even though some of them miss and stuff. I mean, stuff like that. And it's a fact, you can just see sometimes doing the damage just to get them down and knocked into place is sometimes more important. And you could just see moving your men up, suppressing them, engaging them, firing them, taking them down. And it's a very pretty much, you suppress them, and as you can just see, you got to choose when to do it. Since these guys, I know my guys are beefed out, I don't have to worry about much challenge and much difficulty. Boom. Blast them head first, point blank range, taking them down. And that's the biggest thing, is it's knowing when to be aggressive and when not to. When with these heavy mutons, if you cannot get up and take them out in a turn, suppress them immediately. Don't let them move whatsoever. And that's the biggest thing, is you want to make sure that they cannot move and engage you, because those weapons will take down any guy who's not on the top tier level in one shot. I'm talking about highly decked out, heavy armor. These guys will rip down your units in one shot. And even the medium armored units will be ripped open. And that's the thing, is you do not want these men ripped open. These things, they're just as bad as berserkers. Heavy hit points, and they can deal a shit ton of damage. And they can really be messing you up. And you want to be focusing on taking them. It's a fact that you got to just you got to figure out who's going to be engaging you, and that's why you want to trick the enemies to come towards you, so you can get them out of position. And also, you got to figure out once you trick them into moving to position. As you can see, this is where time takes a long time. You move up bit by bit by bit. Now, elites they're just a supersized, super strong muton, and you know what? This is the game's way of trying to compete with you once you have the Titan armor, which is comparable to power armor. Very dangerous, and you know what? Very fun to play. Honestly, these are the basic tips. This was the DLC information, and honestly, a lot of these tips, you may say, they sound so familiar. They sound exactly the same, mainly because many of these engagements need to be broached in the same way. I will also bring you about that walking battle tank that they have, how to take that out. That is a little more, that's very similar, but there's enough difference that you really need to be careful, because that thing can take down your backside in a heartbeat. But you can just see, take your time, slowly engage. I hope you've enjoyed what I have had to say. Thank you for listening. Please tell me what you think. I would love to do more of these. Please help me out. Your comments, your criticism, your likes, your favorites, your shares really do help me out. And I like to say, everyone, thank you and good night.